So I just watched this video somebody posted on speaking proper English is talking white. I was looking forward to that because I can understand where that statement's coming from. Unfortunately, I was a little disappointed after having seen the video because the speaker himself just threw out a whole lot more generalizations that didn't really help his point and didn't address the generalization that underlies the entire concept of speaking black or speaking white. How we communicate is not a product of our race. It is not inherent in our genes. There are plenty of black people who speak English as we can understand it around the world that talk in very different ways and communicate in different ways, let alone black Americans who speak English and talk and communicate in different ways. Okay? Now, part of the argument this fellow was making, Mr. J. Love, was by sounding black, which automatically gives in to that wrong assumption that being black means you have to sound a certain way. But his argument is sounding black, according to most black people, comes across as unintelligent. So, by speaking intelligently and using proper English, which is another assumption, well, it's not really an assumption, it's just a very subjective idea. But that type of speaking, thus then, is interpreted as white, according to the people he disagrees with, who would accuse him of saying he talks white. And he disagrees with that by saying that, there is a white talk, but it's not exactly what he's doing. And that just defeats the whole purpose. How we speak is a product of our environment. Period. The people we grow up around, the images we're exposed to, and the forms of communication that we are bombarded by in every possible way influence what we learn about talking and communicating in our culture and our societies. If we were born in Scandinavia, as black as we are, we would talk differently. There's nothing truly inherent in our genetics that makes us come across a certain kind of way. But there's plenty of shit in history that helps mold how we present ourselves as people, as black people, and how we are perceived as people, as black people. And history is environment. History is pretty deep, and history has huge impacts on the minutiae, meaning little things in our lives that many of us underestimate. But that's environment, not race. The whole concept of speaking black or white is just a wrong way of thinking. It is a fallacious argument because it does not at all relate to the point, which is we are products of our environment. How we communicate is a big part of how we express who we are given the world we grew up in. Period. Another way I would have hoped that J. Love had approached this would be to look at the fact that that person who chooses, for whatever reason, be it that they were exposed to different environmental factors, or, well, we're all exposed to lots of environmental factors, but some of us have that choice when we realize it to say, I just don't want to actually do this the way everyone else is doing. That person who stands out and chooses to express themselves differently from everyone else around them, that is an individual, according to my definition. We're all individuals if we're going to be really semantical about this, which is not a real word. But my appreciation of individuality is strongest for those people who choose to represent and express themselves in a way that isn't exactly the same as all the people around them. Instead of conforming, they just do whatever they feel, given, of course, following some set of examples that they have been exposed to that are different than the ones that their group uses. Individuals should be able to proudly say, I am who the fuck I am, and how I talk is how I talk. And whoever wants to label that is just coming from a smaller mindset, honestly. And if they need labels to help understand you, that's just their problem and their fault. And that's not on you, and it's not on me, period. So if what you see is a black person talking white, then that's really a sign of how small your field of vision actually is. I am who I am, and I talk how I want. That was kind of what I was hoping to get, but I didn't get that. So now I'm making this video to express that myself. And I think that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that.